In the previous video, we create certificate for root CA and intermediate CA. In this video, we are going to create server certificate. To do this, we are going to take 4 steps. First of all, we are going to create private key, and after that, we are going to create certificate sign request. And then we are going to create public certificate file. Additionally, we are going to create PFX file, which is a certificate file for Windows operating system. That we are going to do in this video. So let's jump into it. Okay, so first of all, we need to decide what certificate we are going to create for. So when we check the network diagram, so this is a small environment, but I have the web server here. So I'm going to create a certificate for this web server in this demo. So let's copy this and then paste into here. All right. And then we are going to take from this first steps. All right, so let's check the folder and file structure first. So those are folder and files we created in the previous video. This time we are going to create server certificate. So we are working under this server folder. So let's create a private key first. This is a command we are going to generate the private key. The private key will be under server private, and the file name will be hostname.key. This is the private key we are going to create. This command does not include the password option, so system does not ask you the password this time. So let's hit enter. All right, so that's it. So let's check from the tree command. All right, so now you can see private key was generated under the private folder. All right, so let's move on to the next step, which we are going to create certificate sign request. So let's do this. Okay, so this is a command to request the CSR file. In the configuration section, you can see the mid-CA conf is specified here. So let me explain some point. This is a mid-CA conf file. You can see some keyword here. When you scroll down a bit, you can find the request distinguished name section. So this time, we are going to set the company name, country name, city name, that kind of information we skipped in the previous certificate. But this time, we fill in all the information. To make it easier, actually, I set the default value. You can see some default keyword here. So I set the AU as a default to the country name. So the other part is the state is I set NSW, so New South Wales, as a default here. And the city name is set as Sydney as a default here. And also company name is a practice PTY as a default. The lastly, I set the customer support as a default organization unit. Common name and email address, I keep it blank. So you will see when we hit enter, you got the prompt, but also you can see the default value. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so now we got the first question about country name and also default value AU. If I hit enter, this default value will be set as a country name. If I type anything like a US or UK, so this value will be set as a country name. So in my case, I hit enter to apply the default value. So let's do this. Hit enter. And the state is New South Wales, so I hit enter. And city is Sydney. And the company name is Practice PTY. And then customer support department. Right. This one is to make it easier. So please change this value based on the requirement. If you change the value here, you get your own default value in this section. Okay, so now it's a common name. Let's check the server name. I'm going to apply this FQDN to this common name. Right? So I hit enter. Okay, email address. This time I try to type in. Right, so this is not requirement in my case, but just for the demonstration purpose, I put the dummy email account and then hit enter. All right, that's it. So let's check from the tree command. Okay, so now you can see the certificate sign request was created under the CSR folder. Right, so let's create the public certificate. This is a command to create the public certificate. We actually specify the mid-CA conf and the extension is the server underscore sort. So let's explain some point here. Alright, so this is a mid-CA file. And then when you scroll down a bit, so you can see the server cert here. We call this area to generate the server certificate this time. The rest of the part is just nearly same. We set the validation days for 10 years. And then we also set the certificate sign request here. And then eventually we generate the server certificate underneath the server cert folder. So certificate name is hostname.cert. So let's hit enter. Now system is asking the passphrase of mid-CA key. This is because we specified this mid-CA file. And then actually private key you can find here. So that's why the system asking what the passphrase of this mid-CA key. Right, so let's type in here. All right, that's good. And then hit Y and hit enter. And then type Y and hit enter again. All right, that's good. So let's check from the tree command. Okay, so we successfully create a server certificate file under the cert folder. So next step is we are going to create a PFX file. This is a certificate file for Windows OS. So basically we merge the private key and the certificate file to generate the PFX file. So let's do this. Okay, so this is a command to generate the PFX file. So first of all, we specify the key file here. And then next value, we specify the certificate file we just created in the previous step. And then eventually we generate a PFX file as an output. So that's the meaning of this command. At the end, we can see this PFX file under the cert folder. So let's do this. So now we are going to set export password to the PFX file. When we install this certificate file to the Windows system, we need to type this password. So that's the reason we set this password here. Right, the same password again. Okay, it seems to be good. So let's check from the tree command. Okay, so now you can see the PFX file in the cert folder. Alright, so just in case, let's check the contents of this certificate file. So this is a command to check the contents of this certificate file. So let's hit enter. You can see those information we type in when we generate a certificate. Most important point is the CN, common name. So we can use this certificate for this server. Alright. So we successfully create server certificate for this web server this time. In the next video, we are going to take the same step, but we are going to create wildcard certificate. This is very useful certificate, especially for the test environment. It must be fun.